Hi everyone, it's Allison. I am answering question 7 in chapter 10. I apologize for my two dogs. They are really annoying at this time of night, but if I put them away, they're just going to bark and then you'll have to listen to that. The question is, why is the debate over military reform so contentious, and what is the current state of this debate? Military reform is a contentious point because of it's just opposing viewpoints. It really is an issue of conventional warfare versus asymmetrical warfare, what we've always done in the past, what is tried and true, what we've tested and found to bring success, versus the benefits of asymmetrical warfare, not only currently in the current war on terrorism and in Afghanistan, but also the future. What is the future going to bring? What are some scenarios American forces could find themselves facing? And if we go away from conventional warfare and then we need it, well, then what? So there's the unknown, planning for the unknown, and resting upon what has worked in the past, and that the military tends to be so conservative. I feel like it's disrespectful to say the old guard, but in some ways that's true. We have military leaders, brilliant military leaders, who have been raised with an understanding of conventional warfare and conventional forces. That is how they're trained. I would venture to say that in the current military structure, it is special operational forces that are best trained for asymmetrical warfare. So are we going to go away from a large military force? If so, what happens if we find that we need it? Large military forces have won big battles. And not just for America, but for other nations, and Russia is an example. If we scale down and prepare for asymmetrical warfare, that also costs money. There's training involved, there's restructuring involved, and restructuring is already happening. Reform is already happening under Gates and President Obama, and some of these are very good things. The reform in this instance and the restructuring is not really about downsizing, although I believe that would be a result of it. It's really about valuing what has worked in the past and how to apply that to future scenarios. So it's contentious because the debate is then, how do we prepare for the unknown and those things that we may face in the future? There's some examples that Snow provided which I thought were valuable. Military traditions, he says, military traditions and values are resistant to reform. Well, wherever there's resistance and opposing forces, there will be contention. Those leaders who have been trained in those traditions and values, they're the ones leading the forces right now. There's an issue of a capability-based approach to force development. The key there then is to identify what capabilities do we need. Are those capabilities in a conventional setting or capabilities in an asymmetrical setting? So I think the answer really falls back on what I said in the introductory part, which is it is really, in some ways, it's a battle of wills. I think sometimes it is as simple as, well, we've always done it this way, we don't want to change, or we want to make small modifications rather than sweeping reform. That's another issue. How incremental should this reform be? That capabilities-focused approach really causes policymakers to have to, and military leaders to have to predict the future. And I think because we haven't predicted failure in Vietnam, we did not predict 9/11. We did not predict, I don't think, even this long war in Afghanistan. And if those predictions are off, then what about future ones regarding conventional versus asymmetrical warfare? So it's contentious because it's challenging, because it's going to force change, or it's going to, which may then cause division. So there's new training that needs to take place. There is a need for multiple solutions for multiple scenarios. So finding the balance is definitely tricky. Thank you so much.